Ketchup is one of those things that feels like it has always been around. Whether it's squeezed onto burgers, paired with crispy fries, or mixed into recipes, it has become such a familiar part of everyday life that few people stop to wonder why it exists in the first place. Yet ketchup's story is far stranger than most people realize. Its journey stretches across centuries and continents. It began as something completely different from the sweet tomato sauce known today. Along the way, it changed ingredients, flavors, and even its purpose before becoming one of the world's most recognizable condiments. Right here, on History of Simple Things. The earliest ancestor of ketchup wasn't red, sweet, or even made from vegetables. Historians trace its roots to Southeast Asia, where fishermen made a fermented fish sauce using salted fish and spices. This savory liquid was packed with umami and used more like a seasoning than a topping. Merchants eventually brought the idea to Europe. Since many original ingredients were unavailable, European cooks created their own versions. Some recipes used mushrooms, walnuts, oysters, or anchovies. Although the ingredients varied widely, the goal remained the same: creating a flavorful sauce that could improve everyday meals. These adaptations showed how recipes naturally evolved when they reached new cultures with different local ingredients. Long before ketchup became red, it had already developed a reputation as a dependable way to add flavor to ordinary food. During the 1700s and early 1800s, ketchup wasn't one specific recipe but an entire family of sauces. Mushroom ketchup became especially popular in Britain because of its rich flavor and long shelf life. Without refrigeration, preserving food was a constant challenge. Sauces made with vinegar, salt, and spices lasted much longer while making simple meals taste better. As global trade expanded, cooks experimented with new ingredients and seasonings, gradually shaping ketchup into something even more versatile. Families often passed their favorite recipes down through generations, each adding a personal twist. Over time, these countless experiments helped lay the foundation for the tomato ketchup that would eventually dominate kitchens. Tomatoes had reached Europe centuries earlier, but many people wrongly believed they were poisonous. Over time, that misconception faded, especially in the United States, where tomatoes became increasingly common in home cooking. By the early 1800s, someone had the idea of making ketchup from tomatoes instead of mushrooms or fish. Tomatoes provided natural acidity, a smooth texture, and a vibrant red color. Mixed with vinegar, sugar, and spices, they created a sauce that was sweet, tangy, and savory all at once. The new recipe quickly became the most popular version, gradually replacing nearly every earlier form of ketchup. Farmers benefited from the growing demand as more tomatoes were cultivated specifically for sauce production. It was a simple change in ingredients, but it completely reshaped the future of one of the world's most famous condiments. For many years, families prepared ketchup at home using fresh tomatoes. However, homemade batches spoiled easily if they weren't preserved properly, and some manufacturers turned to questionable chemicals to extend shelf life. Things changed in the late 19th century as food companies developed cleaner production methods and reliable recipes. Using vinegar, sugar, careful sterilization, and airtight bottles allowed ketchup to stay fresh naturally. People could now buy a bottle knowing it would taste the same every time. That consistency helped ketchup become a staple in homes, restaurants, and eventually fast food chains around the world. Reliable production also made ketchup more affordable and widely available than ever before. What was once a homemade seasonal recipe had become an everyday pantry essential. Ketchup became popular because it combines several flavors people naturally enjoy. It balances sweetness, acidity, saltiness, and the savory umami found in tomatoes, creating a taste that complements many different foods. Its thick but smooth texture also makes it easy to spread without overwhelming a meal. Whether paired with fries, burgers, eggs, or hot dogs, ketchup enhances existing flavors rather than covering them up. As fast food restaurants grew during the 20th century, ketchup became one of the world's most recognizable condiments. Its familiar taste also gave people a sense of consistency no matter where they ate. That dependable flavor helped turn ketchup from a simple sauce into a global favorite. Today, ketchup is enjoyed across the globe, with many countries creating their own variations. Germany is known for curry ketchup, while the Philippines developed banana ketchup during World War II when tomatoes became difficult to obtain. Despite these regional differences, ketchup's purpose has stayed remarkably consistent. It exists to make everyday food more flavorful and enjoyable. Its history also reflects centuries of cultural exchange, showing how one simple idea evolved as it traveled across the world. Every variation tells a small story about the local ingredients and traditions that shaped it. Even after hundreds of years, ketchup continues to evolve while remaining instantly recognizable. Ketchup exists today because generations of cooks continued adapting and improving an ancient fermented fish sauce. It wasn't created overnight or originally intended for burgers and fries. Instead, it evolved through trade, experimentation, and changing tastes. Behind every bottle is a story that spans centuries and continents. What began as a simple seasoning eventually became one of the world's favorite condiments, proving that even the most ordinary foods can have an extraordinary history. Its journey is a reminder that many everyday foods are shaped by countless people, cultures, and ideas over hundreds of years. The next time ketchup appears on the table, it represents far more than a familiar topping. It is the result of a remarkable culinary evolution that has stood the test of time. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.